Hey guys, today I'll be teaching you the basics of Pygame. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make a Pygame window and make a sprite move. First, you'll be needing Pygame installed. If you don't already have Python installed, you'll be going to python.org and downloading the version you want according to your OS. Now you will go to command prompt in Windows and type pip install Pygame. If this doesn't work for you, you can watch a YouTube tutorial and figure that out. Now, if you have Python installed, you can either use idle. You can find this by just searching for idle, or you can choose another IDE. So in this tutorial, I'll be choosing Visual Studio Code. So in any Pygame program, we need to write import Pygame. This will basically be importing the Pygame module so we can start making our games. Now we'll be creating our window. This is quite easy, so I'll be creating a window variable and typing pygame dot display dot set mode, and then you'll be giving a size of your window and a tuple. So for this example, I'll be giving 500 by 500. If you save this and run, as you can see, a Pygame window appears and then disappears because the program has ended. To keep the window up and running, what we'll do is make a variable. This will be called running, and at first we'll set this to true. Now we'll be creating our main event loop. An event loop contains all the actions and all the events that happen in your game, like key presses and mouse clicks, etc. So this will be a while loop, so it goes on forever until you have done something to stop it. So you'll be doing while running, and then we'll be creating a for loop and event in pygame.event.get. What this basically does is makes a for loop of all the events Pygame is getting. This includes button presses, key presses, and stuff like that. So now if you press enter, now you can check if we have pressed a button. So for example, I'll be seeing if we've pressed the red cross, which is the quit button. So we'll be doing if event.type equals, you'll be doing pygame.quit in capital. If this is true, we'll be setting our running to false, which will close the event loop because running is not equals to true. If we run our program now, as you can see, we have this window, and if we press this button, our window closes. Now we'll be creating a player class. If you don't know what classes are, a class stores information about a particular thing. So for example, if you do player, it'll be storing the stuff about the player, like its X and Y, and functions as well. So we'll be putting object in here, and we'll be defining an init function and passing self in. If you don't already know what classes are in detail, I recommend checking out some tutorials before doing this, or you can do this without classes. It works the same. So you will define an init function, and we will be needing 4 things for now, or 5. An x coordinate, a y coordinate, its width and height, and its velocity, or how many steps it will move in 1 pixel. So you'll be doing self.x. So x position, you can set it to something between 500 and 500. So I'll be setting it to 100 and save with self.y and set it to 100. Now self.width, I'll be setting to 32 and same with the height. Circle.height is equal to 32. So this will be creating a square on the position 100 by 100. Now we'll be defining another function, which will be our drawing function. So define draw and pass self into this so you can access these variables. Now you'll be using a built-in function for Pygame that called pygame.draw.rect. This will be drawing a rectangle on the surface. So you'll be doing pygame.draw.rect, and so a rect function, it requires a surface, a color, a rectangle, and a width, which is optional, and also border radius, which is also optional. So first we'll be giving it a surface. A surface is basic in Pygame. A surface, anything that you draw on, for example your sprite and window and stuff like that. So for our surface, we'll be obviously drawing on the window, and now we need a color value. Color in Pygame is always in hex. No, sorry, I mean RGB. So red, green, and blue. So for example, if we need blue color, we're doing 0, 0, and 255. So this is blue, basically. Now we'll be needing a rect. So we already have 4 values for our rect. So self.x, self.y, self.width, and self.height. Now that we have this, we can make another function. This will be an update function. This is not necessary, but I like to make this to keep things clean. We'll be basically calling the draw function here by doing self.draw and calling that. Now lastly, we'll be coming above our while loop and making an object of our class by doing player instance is equal to player, which is our class, and then just calling that. Now you'll be going into your while loop and calling this update function. So we'll be doing a player instance dot update. Now if we save this and run our code, as you can see, nothing happens. This is because we need to update our window, which basically refreshes our window so that our sprites are visible. So to do this, we'll be doing pygame.display.update, and then now if we press save our script and run, as you can see, there's a blue square on our screen at 100 and 100. Now you can easily come here and change its position. So for example, I'll set it to 200 by 200, and now it's there. One thing to keep in mind, that Pygame's coordinate system is a bit different. So 0, for example, 0, 0 will be in the top left corner, so it's right there. If we want to try out 500 by 0, it will be right there. You can't see it, but it's there. If we and y is the same thing. So if we do 0 by 0, sorry, 500, no, my bad, 0 by 500, so it'll be like right here. You can't see it, but it's there, and like that basically. So if we draw 400 by 400 and saving our script and running, our player is right there. So I'll let that be like that. And now we need to make our player move. This is quite easy to do in Pygame. Basically, you'll be making a variable. I'll be calling it keys. And then basically what you want to do is type pygame.key dot get pressed. Oh, my bad. Dot key dot get pressed. This will be getting a list of the keys you've pressed. So it will be setting that to keys. So you'll be doing if key, if keys, and now because this is a list, you'll be putting square brackets and then putting in the value you want. So we'll be doing Pygame dot k capital underscore. So let's do left for this. So we're checking if we're pressing the left key. Now to move our sprite, we'll be basically we're drawing a rectangle every frame at this position. So if we change the X position and always refresh our screen, we'll be having a moving sprite. So to change the Y position, we'll be accessing its X position by doing player instance dot X minus equals 1. If we run this, as you can see, we slowly move, but as you can see right here, we're moving. Now it's a bit jittery. I'll come back to that later. So you've also noticed that we're creating a trail behind our sprite. To get rid of this, we'll be every frame will be filling, refreshing our screen or filling it with black. So win dot fill. Oh my goodness, sorry. Win dot fill. Sorry, it will be win like that. Dot fill, and this is gonna be RGB again. So we'll be filling this with black. So every time we're filling this with black, moving and then filling this with black again. So now if you play, as you can see, we have this moving sprite. Now you can do the same thing with right, down, up, and yep, that's it. So that and like that. So now that we have this, we'll be just changing it to key dot right, and then changing our X position but adding to 1 instead of subtracting. And now we'll be doing key dot up. Now here we'll be accessing our Y position and subtracting 1 because at the top it's always 0. Now for down, oh my bad. So here 1 and then minus 1, a Y minus 1 and then Y plus 1. Save that, run, and as you can see, we can move in all 4 directions, up, left, and right. What's happening here? So, oh yeah, we need to do down here. Okay, now if we press, and we can move down, up, right, and left. Now the reason this is a bit jittery and slow is because right now this is frame rate independent, and so in the while loop, if you're having 60 frames per second, you'll be moving, you'll be adding 1 to our X, subtracting 1 to our X every frame. So you'll be moving 60. You'll be moving 60 steps a second. But if you have 20 FPS, you'll be moving 20 steps per second. And we obviously don't want that. So in the next episode, I'll be teaching you about delta time and how to work with that to make everything even and not frame rate independent. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Bye.